What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trial by Error Variety Show Podcast. I'm your host, Chazzle Dazzle, and it's been 2 years, but we're doing it again. We're bringing it back from the dead, you could say. This is March Mad Metalness, Episode 1, Volume 2. And I have with me today a super special co-host, an old chum, an old buddy of mine, the lead singer for the Destroyer of Worlds from San Antonio, Texas, the former guitar player for From the Cocoon. He has his own project, ART, Another Restless Thought. You know him, you love him. Give it up for David Fitzgerald. David, what's up?
What is up, guys?
How you been, man?
Man, pretty good.
Yeah.
Ready to do the thing.
In all honesty, I think the last time I saw you was March Mad Metalness.
Yeah, it's been a while. That was the last time I was over here.
This series is reigniting friendships.
Oh, yeah. Old bonds.
Dude. Yep. You been staying busy?
Oh, much busy.
I've been watching you from afar. I don't go to that many metal shows, as you know.
I've been playing a lot of shows.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. We got 3 bands now?
Yeah, 3 bands.
Yeah, and then your own thing.
Yep, and then I have my own thing, yeah.
Okay. What are they? We talked about Destroyer of the Worlds.
Yeah, I'm the frontman for the Destroyer of Worlds,
Mm-hmm.
also the frontman for Pawns of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm also doing Another Restless Thought. It's my little thing, too.
Mm-hmm. So religious band, huh? You got like a Christian metal band?
It's not religious at all. No, it's the name is very misleading.
Oh, is it?
It's very death metal.
Pawns of Christ sounds just very, humble. And
Yeah, we just throw a lot of like murdering and butchering right in your face. Kinda.
Okay.
It's just really brutal. So
right, so soft metal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice
Very
Christian
cool.
metal.
Stuff you're known for. Yeah. Bringing families together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keeping the blood tight.
Yeah. The reason I had you back is because I don't know anybody more versed in just metal passion than you.
Yeah, I do listen to a lot of metal.
A lot
all
of
kinds
posers
metal.
out there.
Oh yeah.
But
sure.
you're the only person I know that is 24/7 metal.
Yeah, I do listen to a lot of metal. I do have to take a break though and listen to some other stuff, but
Well, you'll listen to other stuff if it's being played at work. But
yeah, like
get
80s,
in your car.
80s music.
Yeah, get in your car and
Yeah,
it's time. It's,
Yeah, as soon as you get in my car, you know what's up.
Yeah.
It's
so,
just
yeah.
everyone's like, what?
That's the atmosphere. Instantly. It's like, it's amped,
Yeah.
That's the environment. And a lot of Mountain Dew in your diet as well. So it all kind of goes together. It's like it's a chaotic thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You
But
gotta
it's
keep.
managed chaos.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
He's a full-grown adult. So,
I eat chaos for breakfast.
yes.
I shit carnage for night.
A balanced chaos breakfast. So anyway, I guess we should probably get into the interview. And we'll talk a little bit after, share a little bit more of our thoughts. Meanwhile, we're going to listen to quite a bit of Vesperian Sorrow in here. This band has a journey that is probably one of the longest of the bands that I've spoken to. And their music has been sort of revisited by the label and remastered. So there's a version of it that's cleaner than it's ever been. And
Nice.
we're going to listen to it.
Yeah, production
right here.
value is a lot these days.
It is. It's some of the stuff that we have to dig through
Yeah.
to get
Well,
to.
the market's so oversaturated.
Yeah. Just like this. There's 850,000 podcasts.
Yeah.
So thank you
really have to
guys for
search.
tuning in.
Man, I'm ready to give them a listen, man.
All right, well, however you guys found us, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to get right into it. This is Vesperian Sorrow from Austin, Texas. Enjoy the show.
Metal Madness.
They do a mariachi sampling.
Yeah,
over there?
Oh yeah.
Or most of them do it.
Yeah. It's almost worth it to do that just for that.
Doom, 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 doom.
Oh yeah.
Splooge. All right.
Yeah.
We're here in Austin, Texas, with Vesperian Sorrow, and we're at the Taqueria Jalisco. And we just got our chips and salsa. We're gonna sit here and hash it out. But so yeah, this is kind of interesting because this is not the first time we've done a sound check interview, but this is the first time it's completely bass. So
That's what it sounds like.
yeah, last time I had a fuck. Dude, it's like. Seriously, I'm gonna go pound on that wall with a broomstick. I don't even think I can pad that, you know? Here, let me see if I can pad it on.
No, they don't. I've never heard it like that before. Jason fucking joined that band? You know Jason that works here? Yeah. He's got these mega fucking Mesa Boogie cabs, and every time he was in a band that was next to us, you couldn't hear shit, dude. I mean, it'd just be like a wall.
Constant brown oak.
That's better, right?
It is a little better. It is a little better. It's quiet, but I can pull that up, so it's not deafening. But yeah, you guys, because I have it padded, just kind of throw your voices up a little.
Well, Bob.
Yeah, without sounding like you're yelling at me.
Yeah.
It's just a real aggressive interview all of a sudden. All right, so I know very little about you guys. Basically, I want to open the floor to you because I know you guys have a story. You've been doing this for about 12 years now. No, not since 2008. I think I saw like the first release was out.
12 years, yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
No.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, you just okay. All right, throwing a wrench at me. All right.
No.
I did Paquito researcho, and that's what I saw. But correct me now
I think
because
the
I'm wrong.
original incarnation of the band started in '94.
Oh God.
And,
Yeah. It's been around.
Yeah.
and then like
They're
when
college graduates.
yeah. And then like we actually changed the name of the band in '97 to Vesperian Sorrow. Our first demo was in '97. Our first release was in the latter part of '98, first part of '99, and then our second release was in 2001.
So was that cassette tape?
It was vinyl.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still have some of those?
No.
Oh. No, we don't. We burned them all.
Actually, it was actually released on 8-track in Bulgaria.
There was a Russian bootleg copy of our first album on cassette tape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah.
When the Russians bootleg it, it's badass.
Well,
you
the
know?
label sent us copies of it, so we were like, fuck yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
I had cassettes as a kid, so.
Me too, of course. I made the mixtapes.
Yeah, we did too.
You
Yeah.
did the download back in the day. That's just how you download stuff.
Well, yeah, when
Or
you
on a
push.
radio station. Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, totally. Especially when you called into the radio station and requested it, you got to get right before, get you requesting it, and then the guys that made you a tape. I'm like, is this you requesting this song over and over again?
Yeah, we've been around a long time.
Yeah, that's
20
actually.
20 something
What
years.
these two have.
I missed.
Yeah,
That's
we
a big
have.
gap. Right on. So it's obviously evolved. Everything's evolved. Technology,
Sure.
production, everything around that. Do you guys still, when you record, do you do all of it live still together, or what's the?
No.
Okay.
We
So
just
a lot of
stand over-
tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, we track just like everybody else,
Mhm.
one at a time.
But that's how it was done back then, right?
No, we did it.
Really?
Actually, our first recordings were on ADATs,
Mm-hmm.
and we had the old punch in. You had the we would play all the drums. They would always try to get the drums in one take.
Yeah.
Because punching in on drums is
Sucks.
it sucks.
Because I record our stuff now, so it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Back in the day, back on tape and ADAT.
But we didn't have drum editing back then at all,
Mhm.
so there wasn't no quantizing kicks and all that.
So
shit.
drums were very live.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
loud. But then we would do it the same way
Mhm.
back then, just one instrument at a time. So.
Yeah. Okay. I it always fascinates me, the process that you go through. I mean, the production of your albums is super crisp, super clean. So I know
Thank you.
That's on him. He records and produces.
it's very meticulous production, you know, and it's just really it's captivating. There's a lot of deep resonance in it, you know, and it's done very well. To know that you know, the drums are live obviously helps.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult. Too many frequencies fighting for each other, so it's crazy. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's an aspect of it though that really kind of blows my mind, because some pretty incredible drumming in there.
Wow, thank
so
It's drummer point of view. For sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, obviously, right?
It's all easy drummer loops.
Yeah, just drum loops. Dude, that's so common now though.
Oh,
You
It
know,
is
yeah.
common.
those are probably the Russian bootleg loops that you put out.
I had when we did Stormwinds, there was a bunch of people saying like, is that a drum? Are you using a drum machine? But I actually have footage and video of me actually tracking and stuff. Stormwinds.
Yeah.
So, you know, back in our big old room where I had my drum all mic'd up, and so. But yeah, we do it. Just did it live. I mean,
Y'all born and raised here?
Yeah.
Austin?
Born and raised. Well, me and him from the coast. But
Okay.
we're essentially Austin
Texas boys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Texas coast. We're from the Texas coast. So, but we moved here when we were.
We were young.
Shit, we were young, way young. So I consider myself from here.
Yeah.
I'm from
Yeah, me
Austin.
too. I've been here since I was 18. You know, back in 2003 is when I moved here. And
The one guy that actually didn't grow up here was born here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born here, but I grew up in Akron, Ohio.
Yeah.
And I came back after school, so it sucks up there. It's just,
It's cold.
it sucks, and
Yeah.
it's like I lived right next to like the murder capital of the country for a little bit, and it was like that's a little too crazy. So
Yeah.
go back down to Austin.
That's only fun on like ID channel. You know, you're like, oh, Ohio, hell yeah, dude.
No, they were talking.
Tired of living near the murder capital.
Yeah.
Just go down.
First
Yeah,
48,
I hated
Cleveland.
it. It's crazy, dude.
Not entertaining living there. No. Yeah, I hear Cleveland's pretty rough.
It is, but there are always really crazy shows there. Like,
Mhm.
there were always like fights and just big groups of people. It was always like crazy when I was a kid going to shows there. Like there were like different like crews of people that go to shows and start shit, and then all the tours would go through, and everybody was just so like pissed off because there's nothing to do there, and you know there's no
Yeah.
job like the Rust Belt and all that. Like there's no fucking jobs, and everyone's just pissed off. Like at least as a kid. So there are a lot of bands that come up there, and then they dissolve, and there's new bands, and so it was a cool place to grow up, like being in the metal at least. You know?
What was the implant like coming here, or the transplant rather?
I loved it. I thought it was like breath of fresh air coming down here. Like I remember like the first day I moved back down here, my mom had like called me. She's like, "There's a show downtown. It's like Suffocation and whatever other bands. Is that something you like?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And then the next day there was another show that came through. It was just very cool to like go down on 6th back before it got crazy, and there would be all these metal shows, and then any other kind of music too, country music, anything, just like walking down. And
Yeah.
people are more friendly here. Like it's not, people aren't like really uptight and like
We have
I don't
seen our share of genres come and go in this town.
Yeah,
So,
but it's really it's always been impossible to pin down Austin though.
yeah.
You know. I mean, I guess a lot of jam bands, like for a while, that was kind of what it was. I feel like it's just a lot of jam bands, but like, you know, you can look at San Antonio and like it's metal and hip hop. You can look at Houston and it's rap.
Austin was always a big blues town.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
back when I was
That's
a kid,
true.
it was all blues stuff.
Very
You
true.
went down 6th Street, it was every other club was like a blues band. You know,
Mhm.
Stevie Ray ripoffs. You know, trying
Yeah.
to. You know,
They still do blues on the green.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that it's so open-minded here. It's really such a drawing point for so many people in the world, especially something like South by. You know.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done any South by stuff?
Have we?
I have it in the whole band.
We've kind of. We kinda steered clear from there, 'cause
Not
it's-
officially. We did some South by like sponsored shows or something like that.
I was just wondering
kind
if
of-
that generates, you know, if that's worth it, because
No,
it's just
not really.
insane.
No,
No,
it's more of a
Showcase.
I mean,
It's not really anything to get you.
It's
signed
more
or-
for the corporations and stuff
Hmm.
now. It's not like I don't think
It's
bands
not
are
even
actually
like-
getting discovered.
It was like underground, like what he was saying
Mhm.
back in the day, but now it's like
Oh, it was a
they're-
little
they're-
festival
they're
now. Now
big
it's,
apps. There
Yeah.
are big acts coming through and
Mhm.
promo.
Now it's-
Like it's
now it's
you know,
corporate.
Yeah, it's corporate.
Corporate festival now.
Like Ice Cube will come and play, or it's not like
Yeah, I noticed it's just there's too much hubbub around. It's kind of I say it's too big for its britches. I feel like ACL kind of did that same thing
Oh, yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of I get it, the lineup is what it is, it's great, but it's just always too much. You know, you have to walk like 3 miles to get into it. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that
it's
part
kind of
sucks.
it's kind of insane. But what specifically is the scene like for you guys here? I know you've been playing shows and you just recently got picked up to a different label. Is that correct? So there was a re-release of some of your older works, which is awesome.
For
you know,
us, the scene here for Vesperian is virtually non-existent.
Really?
for our type of music,
Mm-hmm.
because like it's hard to categorize like where to stick us. Like they don't know to stick us with a black metal band, a death metal band, a mellow death band.
We've
All
always
of them.
been a bit of an anomaly.
Play with all of them.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
it's kind of cross genre friendly if you think of it like that.
Yeah, totally. It is. There's definitely a lot of ranges in it. So
We've always done a lot better outside of Texas, really.
yeah,
Like anytime we go out.
Ohio.
Anytime we go outside, we would always fare a lot better than playing in our hometown. So
Yeah.
we always went over really well, like in Canada.
Yeah.
And Canada was kind of our deal. We toured up there multiple times. It was always huge up there for us. And
So you got to stay crime free.
yeah.
No Canada for you.
Oh man, we've went through that multiple times.
Mhm.
You know.
Or Japan.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a motherfucker getting into
Mm-hmm.
to
So
Canada.
far, we haven't been turned away.
Yeah, we faked it. We faked it one time. Like,
Yeah.
we totally duped them. Yeah. So yeah, but
Told him you're the Trailer Park Boys.
yeah. We didn't have to pay.
Like, oh,
I
my
shouldn't
bad,
say
guys.
that. But, yeah. but we did it legit. The next time we went up there, we had to pay the fees and do the background checks and all that stuff.
So inclusive. Transmuted series. Cinecast. Clone the universe theater. Astral connection of infinite link. Mortal mutation. To constellate the pain.
Yeah, it seems pretty difficult consulting with a board of bureaucrats to try to just plead free, because they just look at that black and white.
Yeah.
It's like I'm banned. I'm banned from there. I've got a checkered pass, as they say.
Oh yeah, we had a roadie that almost got shipped back, and our keyboard player at the time too. They were both. He was suspect, and I didn't know the background check was so scrutinous. I mean, we've been to Europe a few times, and it's always like, what are you here for? Oh, we're whatever. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
like okay, But in there, I mean, they run an extensive background check, and I mean, like it got to the point where he had to pay an extra $500 to go in, and they were like, you get in here, you play these shows, and you leave.
Wow.
You don't stay a day over it.
No,
We're like,
Mexico.
Wow.
Mexico, I crossed the border on the back of a freaking truck with a pile of gear.
Yeah.
They just looked at us and laughed. Just waved us.
Wow.
Yeah, we've done
Just-
that many
So you
times.
have to go off next week.
Many
Just
times.
a whole fucking crate of just Mexican narcotics and just cool.
We made
Love
the
it.
We did it.
killer mistake of taking a Class A RV into Mexico with roads that are half the size of a driveway.
Yeah, and on fire, a lot of it.
I think we took down a canopy. I think on that one. I think we we hit the road canopy.
Oh shit. Yeah, I've never actually driven in Mexico. I've seen some footage. It seems like you could just drive backwards, sideways, however you can do it. That's how the roads work.
We've driven a few times down there. We drove to Monterey a few times, and then the last time we went, we took a bus. That was before the cartel stuff got real crazy. And now I refuse to go over there. Now, so.
Yeah, it seems very dangerous now. Now in a Class A RV, you hit like a corpse hanging from a bridge. You know,
Yeah, definitely. I remember.
pretty scary.
Yeah. We played some pretty sketch shows over there, man.
Yeah.
We're hanging out, this second story of this club or whatever, and there's guys in machine guns and jeeps, going by.
Rallies coming by. And
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. We're here for the show. We're off duty now.
Yeah.
Just never take off their uniforms though. Just so they can carry AK-47s, because that's fun.
They clean that shit up, I'll go back. But
Yeah.
until then.
Well, got to build that wall.
Yeah.
And show those people.
Yeah, show 'em.
We got to demonstrate, the kind of impression we have, and they just don't know. I'm also trying to get, they're actually from Monterey, I believe, or just maybe from Mexico City. They're called Weed Snake. They're a stoner metal band, and they're really funny. Like their image is really funny, and I know they can speak English, but they're not really communicating back to me. So I got this music playing. I'm hoping to entice them, make them, let them know I'm cool, I'm down. But really, yeah, I another one of those. We'll get into kind of how I found you. I breeze Bandcamp for discovering just new releases. I literally search genre to genre and just kind of find the best of all these releases. And I listen to a lot of horrible metal. I listen to a lot of horrible everything. And your guys' stuff really shined. With that platform, you do get to see who supports it, which is really cool. So that kind of helps you see, like, okay, people are on board with this, because you guys have a ton of supporters on Bandcamp. And then obviously your cover, your artwork is really alluring as well. And the scariest part is when I push play, because I'm like, all this is good.
Right, yeah.
Is it turd sandwich is gonna sound like?
I push play, it's garbage. But no, I did not have that impression at all. I actually dug a little deeper. I found you guys on Spotify, which I was surprised you guys don't have much of a presence on Spotify, which hopefully we can help
we're new
with
to
that.
too. Like,
Okay.
I think it was probably through the label, maybe through the last one, that probably put the music up on it. But I don't think
Yeah.
that we put that out there.
Pandora really helped out, I feel like, promote bands in a way. Like when you would just type in a metal band, they would throw your music into that playlist, and you just you got all of that genre. And they're like, if you like this, but Spotify doesn't do that. They only play like the top 100 or whatever in any sort of radio setting. So it's so hard to get discovered, especially as saturated as everything is.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. I think the reason why I wanted to get you guys on here is our audience just seeks out music. They're looking for, they'll probably, because of the quality of this interview, skip a lot of it just to hear your music.
Yeah, there we go.
Which is fine. Feel free, guys. It sucked on us tonight. We tried, right? We tried.
I'll give it a shot.
We tried 2 different places. But the soundtrack, unfortunately, is not suiting what we're going for. I guess we did have some Mexican stories, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Any other interesting stories? Like, man, if we ever get on a podcast, I'd love to tell this story.
Man, if we ever get on a
we've got-
podcast, I'd love not to tell some stories.
Yeah, we're like talking. Yeah, we have to. Our wives are listening, so we have to. I'm sure
Don't-
they would be.
Right.
If they were. No. All right, I'll shut up.
They
Oh,
know.
well, tell your story.
They know.
No, we got tons of stories. What do you want to hear?
I love travel stories.
Oh wow!
I
got
love
tra-
I love fail stories.
We got,
Yeah.
I got a travel story. We were pulled over in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, one time by the cops.
Oh yeah.
And this is my favorite story. And we had one smoker in the band, you know, and
Damn, I probably still have a warrant.
it was our bass player. And but none of us did, you know. And they just saw Texas license plates, a Texas U-Haul trailer. There was like 10 cop cars that pulled up, surrounded us. They had us all on the side of the road. They had the dogs out. And anyway, our vocalist in our band, he likes to drink, and he rigged himself a portable toilet.
Piss rig.
He called it the piss rig, but it was a bleach.
Funnel,
it was a
tube.
bleach. Yeah, it was a bleach bottle with a funnel and a
tube.
tube that connected it, so we didn't have to stop every 10
Wow.
minutes for him to take a piss, right?
Yeah.
So these cops, Chris was driving, they put him in the cop car. We thought he was gone. They got us out on the side of the road. It's like -2 degrees outside.
no.
And they're like, if we find one seed, you guys are all going to jail. You know, so they take the dogs that threw. They didn't find nothing, even though our bass player had his shit.
He had his shit
Stashed up.
stashed in a freaking.
Yeah. I was looking over at the bass player like,
Container
"Dude, if I go to fucking jail for you, you're dead. I'm gonna fucking kill you."
You're fired.
Yeah. And, but anyway, like they didn't find nothing. They let Chris out of the back of the car, and like we take off, and Chris is just like pulling out of there, you know, and he's like, yeah, that cop was back there. He was like, oh, I found y'all's bong, and he was like
sniffing Donnie's piss rig.
he was sniffing the. He thought it was weed bong. It was fucking piss rig.
God.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Cops are so naive. You know what I mean?
You got a coffee grinder, you think you're grinding meth or some shit. It's like, come on.
Yeah, you know, have you heard about the guy who got arrested for donut glaze? They tested it like 3 times and it was like a false positive. And the guy's like, nah, it's definitely meth. And the guy's like, and all his family's like, if you knew this dude, you know how funny this is because he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do anything. It's just like,
So we got payback on the cops that night.
yeah, yeah. It was like the Dumb and Dumber scene, you know.
Those assholes hit me up for no insurance on that one. It wasn't even my vehicle.
Boys doing a little booze
I
and
was like, I probably still have a warrant.
Oh, yeah. It's like back on
We
Grandpa's
might skip
comments.
over that state.
No
yeah,
reason to go.
Arizona's a tough one too. Any trouble in Arizona?
No trouble in
That's
Arizona.
good. That's good.
Montreal, yeah. Ain't trouble in Montreal.
Nah, they're just dicks.
Yeah, no right on reds.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
and you get 2 cops stopping you and speaking in French back and forth between the windows. You don't understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
like speak English, dude.
He's like, this is not Texas.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
No red on reds.
Yeah. Yeah, locked up abroad. That sounds horrible. You know.
We were playing in a little small town, and we had a lot of shows. You know, it was a little tour. We're playing in a small town outside of Montreal, and these cops pulled us over in the middle of the night. You know, it was like right before. You know, we just got into town. We're trying to find a hotel. You know, and they're like, "What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing from Texas up here?" It's like, "Oh, we're playing shows. You know, we're a band. We're touring. Well, where are y'all playing here?" I was like, "We're playing this little place called Bar La Trash." You come all the way from Texas to play Bar La Trash?
Like,
Yeah, and other Bar La Trashes along the way. Jesus. All the Bar La Trashes, actually. Fuck you, man. Yes.
Fucking dick.
Man.
Write me a ticket and let me go.
Yeah. Pretentious. Music snobs. You know?
Dude, it was the coolest fucking club.
Yeah.
It was the coolest goddamn club, man. I was like, all right. I like little cozy clubs like that. So.
What about, have you guys ever played Dirt Wall in Fredericksburg?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it's like the size of this room. And the
Really? We need to
stage
play
is
it.
like right here.
That'd be interesting.
It is. It's one of those just you have to play it places. I mean, it's literally like a yogurt shop Okay. And you just go in and they're just long hallways at the very ends, a restroom, and then like right in the middle is the yogurt thing. Right in the beginning is your stage, so you walk in, and to the right is the stage. So anybody that walks in is like staring up at the band, and then people just cram all the way down the hallway, and it's just a mosh pit all the way up and down.
That sounds sick.
the
Yeah,
halls.
we should do that.
Do they play a lot of metal there? Or?
Only metal.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's right in Fredericksburg. It's like, you hear this, you hear like some, then that door pops open, and then it'd be like a fog, like a smoke machine coming out, and just like crazy metal coming out of it.
We've
dude.
always had a good time playing little bitty towns.
Dude, you would love this place. It's really fun.
There was a little place in town that they shut down. It was called Headhunters. Like, I mean, I picture kind of.
It's kind of like the same thing. It was a
Kinda
small
like,
stage,
yeah.
intimate stage, about like what's
One
a 2x4 off the ground,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just
I remember
everyone's
the
like right
last
there.
time we played there, I had to stand in front of the bathroom. Each time someone leaves the bathroom, I'd have to go by and then get back over.
I think they had a stage in the back, so you could go under the stairs or something like that.
Wow.
It didn't stay afloat. I think they changed the names to Metal and Lace or something.
Yeah, that Bar Rescue was actually.
Bar Rescue went there and
Oh, okay.
did a bunch of shit on
transformed
it.
it.
Yeah, they were like, no more metal. So that's not going to rescue the bar. Have you, so in Europe, underground shows? Do y'all play a lot of underground stuff? 'Cause-
Festivals usually.
Festivals.
but not necessarily underground as far as like, not people don't know who it is. I'm like saying literally. Like a lot of clubs I know are
Yes.
like in basements and
Birmingham.
like,
Yeah, we played one in Birmingham,
Birmingham was
England,
under-
that was like that. Yeah,
And
it was real small.
UK, it was kind of like this pub that was on the corner, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty like it was underground, at a bar underground, and like
yeah, there'll be
It was
like
pretty-
multiple layers of
Yeah.
bars I've seen. Like the top will be your dance club, and then the bottom will be just like your,
Speaking
your
of,
sports pub.
when we
and
first got over to England, they set us up a place of practice. So we show up at this, looks like a pub or something.
No,
So we
no,
go
it was
in
like
there.
this is a practice space for
space
bands.
for
They
bands.
got the back line. You just show up with your guitars and you can practice there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was underground, but then upstairs was a strip club.
Yeah.
So we were practicing, and in between practice, we kind of like migrate up there to go see what's going on, and come back down.
Yeah. Just to see what was going on. Nobody
Just to see what was
stayed.
going on.
It was strange, isn't it? Not the middle of a nice neighborhood. We didn't know like this is how they work over there. It's in London, outside of London.
Everybody loves titties.
Yeah, man.
Everybody.
That's universal.
We didn't know. We just walk in the place thinking it was a rehearsal complex, and it's
Mm-hmm.
full on strip club.
Nice.
And we're like, I think we're in the wrong place. And
No, you're in the right place.
We talked
sir.
to the dude, and he was like, "Oh yeah, mate, downstairs." We're like, "Fuck yeah, this is great. I love this place."
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all want free beer? Yeah, there's something wrong with the laws when it comes to breast. It just is.
But Europe, for this style of music is it's huge over there. So,
Yeah. Definitely.
anytime we took any shows over there, it was usually a bigger deal than what we do over here. So.
Mm-hmm. Germany looks fun too.
Yeah, we played Germany. Played a big festival over there.
Yeah.
There was probably I couldn't tell you how many people.
I had a cop pull assault rifle on me because I want to drink of water on that one.
It was probably 50,000 people there. It took like the festival.
little
took-
instant.
In Germany?
Yeah, there's this. Okay, the
'Cause you weren't
fairgrounds. We've got the
drinking beer.
Treffen. It's a festival. They have a little
Mhm.
store right outside of the field grounds.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a line on the ground you're not supposed to cross.
Mhm.
Staying in line. And there's a soldier standing next to you with a huge ass gun that will point it at you if you cross the line.
Wow.
I crossed the line.
Wow.
Not knowing, so I was like, I just want to get a drink of water.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I guess
You're all
festivals
lucky.
are going on.
Dodge mini bullets, huh?
Yeah, the festivals I've been to, it's like you cross the line. This is like somebody with a radio. They're like, there's a guy crossing the line right now. What do we do? And
Not
it's
with
like
that
a-
many people at that kind of festival. in Germany.
Yeah.
That's a huge
It
festival.
took the whole town up. It was like
It takes
South,
basically the whole-
South by, like think South by where everything's, every club is part of it. It's kind of like that, but then there's huge airplane hangars,
Mhm.
That were
stages.
stages. It's huge.
Was mobility easy for you guys, like band wise, or was it just kind of a nightmare getting in and out of that?
Remember, man? It
No,
was-
yeah.
We just took
Yeah.
It
like
happened.
little
It
trams
is
and
complete
cars.
chaos. Happened at that festival. Even though the festival still goes on now, but it's by different people. But when we played it, the promoters, the two promoters that originally left with like $2 million, and they just left. and split town in the middle of the festival. None of the bands were again playing. The hotel we were staying at, all these huge metal bands, Napalm Death, all God, there were so many of them, and none of them were going to be playing that night. So because they weren't getting paid.
Yeah.
And I remember like the festival people coming to us and like they were begging any bands like, can you please play tonight? We're like, well, fuck, we flew all the way from Texas here to play. Yeah, we'll play. You know, but of course we didn't get paid. I don't think we were getting paid anyway. But I mean, you know, but yeah, it was huge. But it was kind of crazy because they thought the whole place was gonna, you know, start erupting in chaos because, you know, none of the bands were gonna play.
Easily could have. Yeah.
So.
And then they went off. Those promoters went off and started Firefest.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems to be a kind of a trend too, though. Is a lot of these festivals are imploding.
I don't know. This one's been around forever, man. You know, and this was a long time ago.
Well, look at stuff like Woodstock.
Yeah.
That happened this year, where they planned it, sold a bunch of tickets, and then like right before it, they're like, "Oh, we can't do it. Sorry."
What the hell?
You know.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that.
I remember when I was a kid.
That happened here with that Thunder Fest.
Yeah.
That was fucking shocking.
Remember that one?
It's pretty wild because those things you would
Dripping
figure
Fans?
Woodstock, something historical like that, just the brand
They'll
itself,
play it,
you'd
and
sell out
they had everything
overnight.
set
Well,
up
how
and
could
they
you
just
not
bailed.
afford to do that? I don't get it.
Bad planning, I guess.
Yeah.
Not having the money up front.
Swindlers. Yeah.
That's what I always say. If you're gonna have a big festival or do a big festival, I always think you need to have your funds. You need to have whether you have them in escrow or whatever. Just have your funds available before you do the show. Don't rely on people buying tickets to get the money to.
It happens.
It happens that way, and it's not supposed to.
happens.
Especially, I mean.
The way
Well, shit, you guys. Let's get back to you for a minute. Well, for a little bit. How long do you have, by the way? Okay, let's go for like 10 more minutes. Is that cool?
That's fine.
All right. So who writes lyrics?
I'm new, but I'm writing lyrics.
You're writing lyrics?
Yeah.
Do you pick a theme, or do you just basically write off of like, I just think this is a really cool topic, and we write, and everybody just kind of floats on that, or how do you pick your
right now,
muses?
Right now, I'm kind of working off an idea they had. They were kind of throwing me this kind of like a Stargate kind of idea where there's different realms and you're kind of slipstreaming through these different places. I'm kind of trying to write a bit of a story where it kind of merges that kind of idea with something like Lovecraft, where there's like ancient forces being like
totally.
So yeah, I'm writing all of that, but I'm still trying to piece it together, and I'll send little things to them here and there and be like, this is something I'm thinking about, and
pen and paper on the toilet.
Yeah, or on my phone memo thing, but
essential.
Yeah, so I recorded a couple new songs with them, but what we're gonna do now is I think I'm gonna hold off until the end till all the stuff is done, and then I'll kind of come in there and we'll piece it all together. I kind of want to work with Chris here, maybe on some of the lyrics and piecing things together with some of the vocals. That way it's not just me having other people's input.
Producing.
We're all big science fiction nerds.
Yeah.
So like, for the whole history of the band, we've always wanted to keep the lyrical content like something
non-political,
controversial. Nothing of
we
this
like telling
world.
stories because it's
non-political, non-religious, or they didn't really go for like the satanic thing or anything. So it's still dark, but they've always had more of a sci-fi theme, and since I've come in, I've kind of adopted that idea too. So.
I love it. Yeah, I've always liked. I don't know. You're probably gonna hate this, but I like Coheed and Cambria.
I'm not a fan, but I know.
I just love that they had a concept that they just like continued to roll with, and I think like a part of it was an animated, like maybe even a comic book at some point. And I always got into that part of metal that I really liked. Was a lot of it is conceptual. And I just think that's really cool. And I'm always curious, like if say you've been doing science fiction this whole time, if it's like, no, let's do something different this time, or let's stick with what we know. But obviously you're new to the band.
Yeah, I'm new, and I like the idea. It's cool. I mean, it's a different. Anything I've done in the past has been more like personal and stuff. So now, being a little bit older, working through all that bullshit, it's cool to like just do, something else, something where you can kind of be creative, come up with some kind of story. You know what I mean? And challenge myself.
It's definitely not taking the easy way.
Music is creative, so why not have lyrical content creative?
Right.
Why not
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really disappointing though when it lacks. You know what I'm talking about.
No
Again,
agenda.
I've
With
listened
us,
to
no agendas though.
Yeah. So if you put something out there, does everybody just kind of come in like, this would be better, or is it pretty static, or is it just like, hey, we trust you, Jake, like get this out there?
I think everybody kind of has their input. Like I said, I kind of try to throw lyrics at them just to see like what they're feeling. I'll go in there and I'll record like scratch vocals or just vocals for something, and then Chris will kind of send them out, and everybody will kind of give their feedback like, oh, this could be better, maybe this could have more different variation. Sometimes I'll get in there and it just won't be a good day for me, and it will be kind of like my idea or my stuff just won't be like synced up. But everybody's pretty vocal, which is good, because it's good to have it's good to have criticism, because you don't want to get like a big head and everything. You want to kind of I don't know, just improve and grow. Like I hadn't ever like done clean vocals, which the new record's gonna have clean vocals and stuff. But I had never done that before until I started working with Will on a project we were doing beforehand, and it was something he wanted to do, and it's something I never had like thought about doing. So I had to go in there and work at it for several months, trying to figure out how to do that. And it's cool to be able to have these different variations of vocals, clean vocals, different kinds of screams, just to keep it interesting, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. How's your voice hold up during a recording session?
Pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Your voice.
Pretty good for a while. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really go out.
Really sustain really well. I mean, I've used to own a recording studio here, so recorded like 50 plus bands here in Austin, metal bands. So I've known different caliber of musicians here in the scene, like what bands really sound like, you know.
Yeah.
And vocal wise, he's probably one of the best ones
Nice.
I've worked with. So.
Awesome.
There's a lot of practicing though.
Do the honey tea.
I have done that a couple times. Yeah, sometimes if it's not hitting, like a little bit of honey will work. But usually I just drink water. You know what I mean? And I'm not like a huge like person that's like talking all the time, so I'm usually just kind of resting. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Coffee, hot dog before.
yeah, banana. You know.
Yeah. No, I usually just binge and then I come in.
I'm kind of weird about that though. Like before playing a show or before recording, what I'm eating and stuff. Sometimes I do kind of freak out about it a little bit. Like I don't want certain things to come up or whatever. I mean, I was kind of worried about that Chinese food we were eating before one of the last shows.
Worried about the Chinese food too.
Yeah. It was a little sketchy, but
It's a risk you take.
Yeah.
You
That
know.
was horrible.
Yeah, Chinese food is it's always a gamble. Yeah, so I saw you guys were in Fitzgerald's San Antonio.
that's the one. We did that one.
That was the one you were talking about?
We did that one, and then we played. I forget what the club was, but it was a club in Houston.
19th hole.
19th hole.
Okay.
That one was like a better show for us, like performance wise, and I guess our vibe, like we were feeling better that day.
Yeah.
Smaller show, but I think we killed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we got one coming up in Fort Worth at Tomcats, and then we got one in Arkansas this later this
Awesome,
month,
dude.
so.
Arkansas is awesome. Yeah.
Fort Smith.
We've done that
Yeah.
in Arkansas quite a bit. It's always had good shows there.
Yeah. They like the heavier stuff there in
That's
Arkansas
cool.
too.
I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out and letting me soak up some of your jam time. And none of the stuff's set up yet. Everybody's using it as chairs right now. So that's how committed they are to this interview. So yeah, I really look forward to sharing your music and following you along your journey, and definitely want to hear the new stuff. So you're part in all of that. It's interesting. So thanks again, you guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
She cried death.
Gracias.
And now, back by popular demand. Facts forged from metal.
Facts forged from Today's fact forged from metal comes to us from metalassault.com, the authority in metal. We take a little trip down the evolutionary chain as we discuss how heavy metal was integrated into video games. It's had its grips on the progressive youths and their brain-melting pastime since the early 80s. The article describes how Journey, yes, Journey, known for its more progressive rock music, was the first group of any genre to make its way into console gaming via the Atari 2600. Apparently, the game was trash. It was so hard to stomach that it never even really made its way into pop culture history. However, it did pave the way for what was to come rolling into town, ladies and gentlemen. Because shortly after Journey's game escaped audiences in '82, Nintendo came along with Holy Driver. And even though it didn't have any actual metal music, it did contain characters named after notable metal bands like King Crimson and Slayer. It too melted under the pressure of Sega's at-home pinball release of Crewball, featuring music by, well, you probably already guessed by now, Motley Crue. And as fans of both metal and gaming kind of begin to integrate, we saw a wide acceptance of metal in games into the late 90s and early 90s, such as Doom, Quake, and Duke Nukem, with soundtracks inspired by acts like Judas Priest, Metallica, Pantera, and Typo Negative. Eventually, we find ourselves at one of the coolest things ever brought to video games. You can hold a guitar, you can play the drums, you can belt songs by your favorite artist. In 2007's release of Rock Band. And that, my friends, just paved the way for pretty much every type of music, but metal has found its way into tons and tons and tons of games and has basically built metal careers. So, hail the video games, hail Satan, and as they say on the last podcast on the left, hail yourselves. That was today's facts, forged from metal. I hope that you learned something, you dumb son of a bitch. And we are back.
We are back.
Yes. When I said we this time, there actually is another person in the room.
Yeah, you're not talking to yourself.
Yeah, sometimes when I say that, though, and you're not here or anybody's not here, I just pretend like I'm talking to the audience. I pass it off like, it's us. You there in your car. You there with a hammer, peeling nails at work. That was me today. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be a different direction.
Oh. You thought that it could go other places.
Yeah, I thought it was about to go dark, and then,
Yeah.
and then it was no. It was
Yeah,
just
you
work.
there skinning a cat.
Yeah. Sacrificing
How'd you like
something.
the episode? I don't care how much that guy likes the episode. You go back to skinning that cat, sir. Turn this podcast off and turn yourself into the police. God damn it. Anyway.
Or make another album.
So what'd you think of the Vesperian Sorrow minus the?
Man, they're fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They're metal as fuck, man. Really groovy. It's fucking great. You can definitely tell they're very, very talented.
Old school dudes too.
Yeah, they're
From
badass.
doing stuff on, putting out vinyl.
I want to go see them in a show now.
Yeah, they got some stuff coming up. As you heard, they got not necessarily anytime immediately soon because they're still working on some stuff.
Yeah,
but
they've got a new vocalist, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, be
So-
very interesting to hear what they sound like now. you know?
Yeah,
But
it's
they're fucking good.
from what we hear so far, they care very much about the storyline and the production. So it's definitely got me interested in the
Nice.
next level there. David,
Yes.
what have you been up to, dude? I mean, we it's been 2 years. Like, how has your scene flourished? How has your time been with your band? I mean, I see you guys are still very committed to what you're doing,
we just got another guitarist, so now we have 3 guitarists.
and one of
and,
them lives nearby me. You said,
yeah,
like 20
yeah.
minutes from me.
Actually, 2 of them do.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we have a whole new team, and we're writing new kind of music. We're going Thal.
What is thought?
Thal is it's a new kind of genre. It's coming out. It's like
Okay.
Humanity's Last Breath of the Doctor. There's only a couple bands doing it. It's like a new age kind of degenerate with
Okay.
more.
Is this like
surprises.
shoegaze metal?
You can call it that, sure.
Okay.
No, it's pretty sweet. We're throwing a lot of those elements into it.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it more and more modern. And see where it goes.
Still out there destroying worlds.
Yeah, everybody's world.
And how are the pawns of Christ? What are you guys? You guys out there bashing heads?
We're
and spitting
recording
blood on people?
We're recording right now.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get a nice little EP out, and then see where it takes us. Start playing some good shows.
We were talking off air about some metal festivals. I was kind of mentioning how they're kind of far and few between.
Yeah.
And you had spattered off a couple that I had never heard of. So obviously I'm not the metal expert. That's why I brought you here, my friend. So
Well,
what are
there's-
the kind of fests?
There's quite a few fests. There's Las Vegas Death Metal Fest that happens every year. It's in June, July. That shit's always awesome.
July in freaking Vegas? That'd be 110 degrees.
There's a lot of great shows, but they're all few and far. They're all in different kind of cities. So you really just have to look out there for them.
Okay. Well, you mentioned more, but off air. But that's all right. I guess you guys have Google at the reach of your fingertips, right? So look up some Metal Fest. Vesperian Sorrow, I would love to see them take off and start headlining some fest. I think they've earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
They put a lot into it. But anyway, David, thank you for joining us. David will be back for the next 2 weeks. to give us the breakdown, my friend. Do you have any parting words of wisdom?
Stay brutal.
Stay brutal, my friends, while also following the golden rule.